Under Doctor, flight from Changi Airport, Singapore to Tokyo. Our main character, Haiji Kino, is the last passenger to board the plane. The flight attendant complains of a headache but does not say so. Haiji Kino, who is a surgeon himself, needs only one glance to make a diagnosis. He replies that he has an innate ability. As soon as he focuses on a person, he can see light sources that glow at the weak, sick points. On the one hand, he can recognize innate vital points as well as injuries and illness. It took him 12 years to be able to recognize the differences in light and refine the technique. He recognizes that the trigger is in the spine and gives her treatment advice. The flight attendant is surprised because she didn't tell him anything and concludes that he must be a good doctor if he has such powers of observation. An announcement is made on the plane that the passenger is complaining of stomach pains. Our doctor oversleeps the announcement, so another doctor from Tokyo University Hospital comes forward. He diagnoses food poisoning and asks the plane to turn back. Although the food poisoning is not yet life-threatening, the 6-hour flight with this pain would weaken the patient considerably. However, the patient does not want the plane to turn back because he wants to see his daughter, who lives in Japan. Since he works in Singapore, he rarely sees her. Suddenly, our doctor appears. He also wants to take a look at the patient. He confirms that other doctors' diagnosis and temporarily relieves the patient's pain using acupuncture points. The other doctor is extremely amazed at the approach of the young Dr. Haiji, who was able to make the diagnosis and relieve the pain without a CT scan or surgery. He asked the young Haiji to teach him his approach. Haiji explains his approach to the doctor and learns that the older doctor, who is impressed by him, is himself a brilliant genius in the field of artificial cell research. However, both wonder how this food poisoning on the plane could have happened and promptly receive the answer. The food poisoning was intended to cause panic on the plane. The hijackers have hijacked the plane with 81 people on board and are demanding 20 billion yen as ransom. Before they saw the two doctors, they opened fire. Dr. Ishiguro suffers 2 gunshot wounds to the abdomen. Haiji's suit is bulletproof, so he was able to save himself and Dr. Ishiguro in the cargo hold. Although no organs were damaged, the veins were severely damaged, so Haiji had to remove the bullets. Dr. Ishiguro asked Haiji to let him die and save the other passengers instead. For Haiji, there is no weighing up the options. Every life that can be saved will be saved. It took him 59 minutes. Dr. Ishiguro was impressed again, as he had estimated the procedure would take 90 minutes. Haiji overpowers the kidnappers using only 2 fingers. Then a memory appears. He is in a forest. A little boy who is bleeding and crying, and standing in front of him is his father, who advises him to give up medicine and become an assassin instead. The passengers witnessed Haiji's martial arts skills. However, there are still some kidnappers left, but even that is no problem for Haiji. Haiji then jumps out of the plane with a parachute during the flight to avoid being questioned by the security authorities. He simply sleeps during the glide. End of chapter 1. Haiji's superiority and completely unimpressed demeanor remind me a little of Sakamoto. Let's see what the next chapters bring.